Hello and welcome. You're tuned into Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. I'm Smriti Chaudhary, and the next 30 minutes are all about your stock-related queries. So write to us on any of our social media channels or on the WhatsApp number that'll be on your screen in just a minute. You can write in your short-term queries or long-term investment strategy plans that you need to ask. We'll be joined by two guests today, but before that, let's take a quick check on the markets. A bit of a weak day for the markets. The Nifty 50 is down about 0.4%. However, if you look at the broader end of the spectrum, that's doing much better than the benchmarks. The Nifty mid cap is up about 0.3%, while the small cap is doing much better than that and is up about 1%. However, among the Nifty 50 contributors, you have the likes of LTIM, Infosys, IndusInd Bank, all losing in trade today. Specific weakness in the IT space today, and even if you look at the losers on the Nifty 50, the two drags are LTIM and Infosys. However, on the other hand, you have ONGC, HDFC Bank, Eicher Motors, all gaining in trade today. Let's pull up the breadth of the market and see where's that at. On the Nifty 50, we have 18 advances and 31 declines. But on the broader end, it still remains positive overall. But let's also look at the sectors. Nifty is IT is of course a drag today, but other than that, banks are also not doing too well in trade. The bank index is down about 0.6%. There's also weakness in the PSU pack, down about 0.7%. Let's pull up the bank index and see the big losers there as well. Yes, you can see only two banks that are in the positive. Other than that, all AU Small Finance Bank, IndusInd, PNB, all in the red today. But among the green, we have sectors like energy sector that's doing well today. You have Nifty Media that's up 2%, so that's on a bit of a tear today. Other than that, you have oil and gas that's doing well. There's metals that's in the green, 0.3% up. There's pharma index that's up about 0.5%. Let's look at some stock specific action as well. You have Vodafone Idea that's down about 2%. Remember, the anchor book for the FPO opens today, and there seems to be a high interest from marquee investors. NDTV Profit reported earlier about this as well. Then there is VST Industries. There's Ramkrishna Damani that had put in the money, and we saw that in the bulk deal data yesterday. You have LTIM that's losing, and this is also on the back of two resignations on the global side of it. Then you have something like a Geo Financial that's up 2.7% in trade after it announced a 50-50 JV with BlackRock for wealth business in India. However, let's move on to the focus for today, which is Bharti Hexacom. Now, it was at an intraday high of 8.7%. It's still up 6% right now. And this comes on the back of a Jefferies note. Jefferies has initiated a buy coverage and given a target price of 1,081 rupees. That's a 33% upside, and according to Jefferies, Bharti Hexacom is the best play in telecom business. Now, the rationale that it gives is that it offers a way to invest in faster growing parts of Airtel's business, which is the parent company of Bharti Hexacom. It offers a higher return on capital and better free cash flows as well. In terms of numbers, it spoke about revenue and EBITDA. It expects to deliver 16% CAGR revenue, 21% CAGR EBITDA from period of FY24 to 27, because there's not a lot of capex for Bharti Hexacom. Now, remember, it doesn't have a lot of dues, the spectrum dues that will be payable post FY26 after lifting the moratorium, which gives a boost to its free cash flows as well. And there are some key risks also that they mentioned, like delay in tariff hikes and change in terms of related party transactions with Bharti Airtel. So these are some of the things that Jefferies mentioned, very positive, and we're seeing that play out in trade as well today. And on that note, let me introduce you to the guests for today. We have Astha Jain of Hen Securities and Vaishali Parekh of Prabhudas Leeladhar joining in today. Welcome to both of you, and thanks for taking the time out. As I'll start with you, Bharti Hexacom, very, very positive note from Jefferies. We saw the listing, we saw the subscription. In terms of subscription, great response, even at the listing as well. How are you viewing this from a longer term perspective for this, especially in the telecom space? It's essentially a very consolidated space.
Right. Hi. Good morning to both of you. So talking about discounter, first of all, when we issued IPO note, in fact, I made myself IPO note. So I have given the subscribe rating to all our clients. And in fact, our view was that subscribe for limited listing gain, but high long-term gain. So we were assuming it as a portfolio stock, and we have given the recommendation in that regard only. In fact, even we were also very much surprised by the listing because we were expecting 10 to 15% listing gain. Now, talking about discounter, what is working positive for this company is first of all their premiumization, because the kind of plans which they are now introducing, like family plan, in which each member of the family, if they subscribe to the Bharti Hexacom, then definitely they will get some sort of discount. So if they are working on such kind of plan, then definitely they will gonna good subscriber base. So that was the major point. Secondly, we were also very much positive on the government policy towards the telecom sector, and we were expecting if something great come from the government side on the sector, then Bharti Hexacom was well placed to cater the opportunities present there because it's a well set infrastructure. So that was also our view. And now what we are thinking that their ARPUs already they have shown a great rise, because from I suppose 135 to 197 the ARPUs have grown from FY21 to FY23, or 9 months ended FY23, whichever the latest data they have presented in the RHP. So the ARPUs have shown a steady rise, and our view was that even, in fact, the valuation at which they bought the IPO, even the valuations were reasonable. So looking after all that, we are still positive on this counter, although maximum has been priced in, but our price target for Bharti Hexacom in the longer run was 940 when the issue came. So I still stick to that price target initially. So we are keeping the price target of 940, 945, and recommending hold on this counter. And those who want to make a fresh entry, they can make a fresh entry, but at the lower prices of 800 or 780 sort of. So this is what our view on Bharti Hexacom. Buy on dips is recommended, as well as hold for the possible price target of 940 to 945.
All right, fair point. So buy on dip strategy for Bharti Hexacom, and if you already had the shares, then hold on to it. Let's start off with the queries now. The first one is from Shrikant from Andhra Pradesh. This is on Vascon Engineering. They bought shares at a slightly elevated price of 87 rupees. Vaishali, we're seeing a little bit of uptick today, but the price has come down from this buy price that Shrikant bought it on. What would you suggest Shrikant to do with the stock?
Very good afternoon, good morning, ladies. So I think Vascon is showing signs of improvement. I mean, if this stock has to be in the process of making higher bottom on a technical level, I think it should hold on with the support of 65. And once we see the stock moving above 72, I think it gives a further confirmation for targets like 83, 88.
Right. Let's take up the next question. This one's from Rahul from Guwahati. The counter that we're talking about is Infosys. They bought the shares at pretty much the current levels, 1,485 rupees. Now they're talking about, considering the geopolitical tensions that have between Iran and Israel, do you see some impact on Infosys? And Vaishali, I'll come to you on this. From a longer term perspective, do you see any sort of this geopolitical tensions impacting something like an Infosys? And we're also going to see the results on 18th. So what should you suggest to a viewer who is hoping for results to come out but is now scared due to these geopolitical tensions?
So talking about this counter, see, IT industries is always affected by the US growth economy's growth prospects, and that is the major factor if you want to look at the IT sector, because most of the IT companies, they really affected by if any some sort of distortion takes place in the US economy or something like that, then definitely it going to affect the Indian IT sector as well, because the main clientele of all the IT companies is America. So this is one of the major points. So I don't think that any sort of geopolitical tension that is existing right now between Iran and Israel going to affect IT industries as such until unless there's some steps taken from the US side. And then we can see the major point which is affecting IT industry right now is the kind of data or the numbers which we are getting from the US economy. We are still not getting any sort of, respite in the terms of inflation, because the data which is coming continuously out from there, that is showing that the economy is continuously growing. So I think that is one factor which we really need to look upon. Now talking about Infosys as such, I think Gen A, they are into Gen A and the cloud, etc. All these are working strongly for the company, and we are expecting strong numbers from this company also, because whatever TC has posted in their numbers, definitely I think, in fact, Infosys will also going to show some sort of growth in their numbers, and that's why we are positive on this counter, recommending hold on this counter with a price target of somewhere at around 1600 at the current juncture, provided if the results come in line with the expectation, what we are expecting on this counter.
All right, fair point. Next up, we have a question from Mr. Ramesh from Bangalore. He says he's a senior citizen. He's already bought shares of Indian Energy Exchange at 210 a piece. Vaishali, now the shares are much lower, trading lower than the buy price, but the stock also hasn't done too much in the last 1 year. Would you suggest getting out of the stock at this juncture?
Well, actually, we have recommended a buy in this stock. Basically, in spite of all the negative news, the stock has continuously taken support at 130 levels. And from there on, we are seeing signs of improvement. So I would say with the support of 142, this stock shows strength. Further confirmation, of course, comes above 158, 160 levels. But for now, it is a buy with a stop loss of 142 as the near-term support levels. So I would say hold if a person has bought, or wait for some dip to occur to buy near 142.
Next, we have a question from Abhishek. Now, this is also an IT stock. Asta, this is Coforge that we're talking about, a mid-cap stock. It's trading at about, if you can pull up the chart for that one. Yeah, it's above 5,200 levels. The buy price is at 5,100. Would you suggest holding on to this? Do you also see similar kind of results coming in for something like a Coforge?
So yes, we can expect strong set of numbers from this counter as well, and definitely a hold from my side. So I think right now, because the result season is around the corner, so wait and hold is a better strategy for any IT company in order to play right now. Because what I think about the Coforge is, yes, there some of the verticals are really working strongly, and that will be helping the company in posting strong set of numbers going ahead also. So we are positive on this counter, maintaining hold. For buy, we really need to see how the results come out. But yes, at present point of a time, a hold from my side with a price target of 5,500 to 5,600.
All right. Asa, next one is on the pharma space. Now, there are two queries on this, the one is from Rajiv and the other one is from Neeraj. And because they're all pharma stocks, I'm combining these two. One is on Lupin. Now, the buy price for Lupin is 1,500 that Rajiv has mentioned. There's another question from Neeraj where he's asking, what's a better pick, Cipla versus Sun Pharma? Now, let's keep three of them together, Lupin, Sun Pharma and Cipla. Which one do you see, which one are you more constructive on from a longer term perspective?
So in fact, we like Cipla. Talking about Lupin also, Lupin is looking strong to us. First of all, the strong geographical presence which this company is having. So that is really playing positive for this company. In fact, they have the market leadership in various geographies, if I'm talking about Lupin. So in fact, Lupin is also looking strong to us. But if I have to choose any one among these three, then definitely the first choice will be Cipla. So, and for the Lupin, our stance here is hold with the price target of 1,800 at the current level.
All right. Stay with us, Asta and Vaishali. It's time to slip into a short break, but we'll be back and we'll take more questions on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profits. Let's dive into the queries again. This one's on Indoco Remedies, and this one's for you, Vaishali. This is from Namita, and they say they bought the shares at 422 a piece. Now, the counter hasn't done too much in the last 1 year itself. If you look at the last 1 month performance as well, it's barely 3% up. But from a shorter term perspective, do you see this changing?
I think too early to say. Actually, it is showing definitely signs of reversal. But I would say to support this view, one should keep a stop loss at around 330. Clarity comes only about 355 to 360 levels. So once we see the stock moving above 360 and sustaining above that, we would expect this stock to go towards 380 to 400. So till then, it's a wait and watch, not in a hurry. But of course, maintaining a stop loss is a must.
All right. Next up, we have a question on IRFC. This one's, okay, they haven't mentioned this is from Shubham Naik from Madhya Pradesh, and they bought the stock at current levels. This from a longer term perspective. Asta, now we've seen gains in this particular account in the last 1 year, massive gains rather. But for somebody who's just bought the stock, do you see more upside to this?
Yes, because I think IRFC has more to show now. So yes, upside is there, and we are recommending a hold on this counter with a price target of 155 at the current juncture. Talking about this counter, the way Indian Railways is performing, and I think this sector is having a strong boost from the government. So I think definitely the company will going to have a strong demand going ahead also, and we are expecting a strong momentum on the upside for this counter. Recommending a hold with a price target of 155.
All right. Next up, we have a question from Vinod Kalani from Mumbai. The stock that we're talking about is Shipping Corporation of India Land and Assets. Now, this is the demerged company of the Shipping Corporation of India, and they bought the shares at 57 a piece. And from a longer term perspective, Asta, do you see how are you viewing the stock now post demerger? We have seen the stocks. There's only land and asset part of it, the freehold properties and apartments that make for the core assets for this company, while the core business remains with Shipping Corporation of India. How do you view this particular stock in the longer term?
In the longer term, I think it will again going to perform because, yes, although you have rightly said from the asset point of view, but still the way I think the Shipping Corporation of India will perform given the infrastructure boost by the government, definitely this stock will also get benefit from all that. And that is why I think a hold is recommended from our side. And our price target for the same is somewhere at around 70 to 75. So a hold on Shipping Corporation Land and Assets for the price target of 70 to 75.
All right. Next up, we're talking about the counter DMart. This is from Vamsi, and they bought the stock at 4,126 levels. Yes, it's slightly higher than that. The stock has performed decently, Vaishali, in the last 1 year. How do you see this in the shorter term performing?
So shorter term, yes, there is some sign of profit booking, and I would say if the stock has to maintain its positive stride, I think it should hold on to 4,500 levels. Because when I'm looking at the weekly chart, I think it's ready for a target of around, it's already on the verge of a breakout above 4,800. So if that happens, I think we would be looking at the next target of 5,200 to 5,300. But for that, what is necessary is 4,500 levels need to remain intact.
All right. Next up, we're talking about the counter Tata Technologies. This is from Anil. And they say they bought the stock at 1,190 levels. It's below that price. And the complaint here, Asta, is that it has not gone above this buy price, not even for a single day. What would you suggest to somebody who's has now slightly become pessimistic about a stock like Tata Technologies?
I think in the long run it will going to perform, because the way we are seeing the strong ER&D expenditure by the company, so that will help this Tata Technologies company to have some sort of a business, because its promoter Tata Motors, they are having a strong budget for that. So I think Tata Technologies will going to perform strongly, although they are not able to cross the high which they have made and at the time of their debut was. But what we think is that in these results, which will be upcoming now, the company's financial performance will be stronger, followed by stronger operating margins as well as stronger net bottom line. So I think one can remain hold on this counter. Initial price target which we can assign to this counter is 1200.
All right. Next counter we're talking about is LTI Mindtree. Now, we spoke about this counter in the beginning of the show about the leadership troubles, but this one's on a short-term. This is a short-term horizon, and this one's from Murli Reddy. They bought the stock at 4,820 levels. Vishali, do you have a shorter-term target on this particular stock?
Yes, actually, today itself we saw that the stock really shows signs of bottoming out. Our technical support comes at 4,600. So this makes it a very favorable risk-reward ratio, because if the view holds right, if 4,600 level is respected as a crucial support, I think this can give a bounce at least to start with to 5,000 levels. So this makes a good buying opportunity with a stop loss of 4,580.
Vaishali, next ones is also on a shorter term basis. This is from Sahil from Bangalore. This is on ILFS, Investment and Managers. Now, they bought the stock at 9.6 rupees. That's the average price. The question here is, are you forecasting it to reach 12 rupees in the next 6 months? Now, I understand it's hard to say, but what kind of trajectory are you seeing on the charts?
So, well, actually, the stock is continuing to show a good trend. And for this trend also to continue, I would say 850, 8.50 should be kept as a stop loss. And, well, right now it is in a trend. At least to start with, yes, I think 12.5 cannot be ruled out.
Point. Next up, we have a question on Balaji Amines, and the name is Mr. Naveen Kumar. They bought 600 shares. From a longer term perspective, Astha, would you suggest to hold on to this particular counter?
Although the financial performance of Q3 FY24 was not satisfactory, in fact, they have shown the degrowth of more than 20% in their bottom line. But I think going ahead, we are expecting this counter to show improvement in their margins. So that might be a reason that maybe a little bit better performance can be expected from this counter. And on the basis of that only, we are recommending hold at least till the results come. So a hold from my side to this counter. And if everything goes well with the company, we are seeing the upside target of around 2,300 to 2,340.
All right. Fair point. Next up, we have it's more of a generic question here. This one's from Manikanta Nag. And they say that the commodity prices are increasing, and a lot of brokerages have spoken about the change in cycle for commodities. Now, Asa, are you constructive on a particular stock within the commodity space? And specifically, we're talking about nickel here.
So if we talk about the commodity space, yes, always I have seen that every commodity, they just follow one rule, a decade of fall, then another decade of a rise, or maybe a 20-year of a fall and then another decade of a rise. So now we are into the decade of a rise for the commodities, because we have seen from year 2000 to 2010, the commodities were at their all-time high. After that, we have seen a fall, and now the commodities has again come into the upcycle. So definitely, we are expecting this upcycle to continue. Now, if I have to choose one stock due to that, then Hindustan Zinc is our favorite stock right now, on the basis of zinc prices rising. Although you have talked about nickel, but if I talk about the other metal like copper and zinc, then Hindustan Zinc and Hindustan Copper are looking strong to us. Talking about Hindustan Zinc in particular, we are positive on this counter, and we are recommending a buy on this counter. Right now also it is showing some sort of a dip, so a better opportunity to buy at the level of 400 with the price target of 435 to 440.
All right. Thank you so much, Astha and Vaishali, for joining in today. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time. And viewers, if we were not able to take your questions today, we'll definitely try and take them on Thursday. But don't go anywhere. Lots more lined up on NDTV Profit.